Hey everybody, it's Eric Balcavage. I will be one of the speakers at the Reinvention Convention. My talk is entitled What the MTHFR is Methylation Anyway. I was told by one of my good friends that maybe what I'm talking about doesn't have a lot of excitement to it. Maybe it might be a little boring. So I thought I would spark some interest about my talk by giving them what I call a methylation minute. I'll try and post a little tidbit on methylation each day for the next couple days leading up to the conference, so that it maybe gets your juices flowing a little bit, as a reason why to definitely not miss my talk and definitely a reason to stay awake. So what is MTHFR? MTHFR is methyl tetrahydrofolate reductase. Many people think, especially my patients, when I say MTHFR, they think I'm cursing at them. So MTHFR is not a curse word. It is a very important enzyme in the methylation process. It is probably one of the most commonly known genetic SNP defects that your patients are going to know about. They're probably already being tested for it. I'm sure they're reading about it on the web. There's a ton of information on the web on MTHFR and methylation, and lots of different opinions on how to address patients with these SNP defects. So I'll be talking about MTHFR, we'll be talking about methylation and how it plays a role in your patient's health. And what the information I give should really help you and improve your ability to help get some of your really, really chronic patients well. So what is methylation? This is methylation. It is a pretty complex process, and we'll be talking about it while I'm down there. We're not going to go into the really nitty-gritty of methylation. We're pretty much going to talk about the folate cycle, the methylation cycle, and how it pertains to our practice and how we can utilize the basics of it so you can get started right away on Monday morning helping patients. So let's take a minute to talk about what methylation is. So methylation is the process of transferring a methyl unit, a carbon and 3 hydrogen ions, to another substance. So it's a transfer of a methyl group from one group to another. It involves methyltransferase enzymes. It involves zinc and B vitamins and magnesium and some other cofactors that are players in the methylation process. So the biggest methyl donor, the biggest donor in the body is something called SAMe, and most of you have probably heard of it. If those of you haven't, this is not SAMe, okay? SAMe is this, S-adenosyl methionine. And so SAMe is the big methyl donor, and it does about 200 different things in the body, or is involved in about 200 different reactions in the body. Some of the most important things that it's involved in is the turning on and off of genes and enzymes. It's involved in the processing of chemicals, both endogenous and xenobiotics. It's involved in neurotransmitter production. Serotonin, dopamine, epinephrine, norepinephrine. It's really involved with those things. It's also involved in the degradation of those neurotransmitters. It's involved in processing hormones like estrogen. It helps us build our immune cells like natural killer cells and T cells. It plays a role in DNA synthesis and histone synthesis. It's really important in the production of energy, ATP, CoQ10, carnitine, creatine. 70% of the methylation process goes to making phospholipids and creatine. It has an integral role and place in myelin production, and methylation is involved in building and maintaining cell membranes. All critical stuff. So big things. So who has methylation problems? Every one of you, every one of us, every one of your patients. But more specifically, the patients I want you to be most concerned about are the real chronic patients. The patients that you've done everything right. I put them on an anti-inflammatory diet. I've done gut repair. I try to do Clearvite or support them with B vitamins, and whatever I do, they just don't seem to get better. They did better, but when I did Clearvite and I did some detox support and B support, they crashed. These are the patients that really need you to understand methylation a little bit better than maybe you currently do. So that's the focus of the talk when we're down in Florida, is what is methylation? Let me understand it a little bit better, and how do I put some of the methylation things that we learn at the conference into action on Monday morning, so you know who to be checking methylation processes with, how to test methylation processes, and how to support the methylation process is once you find problems and take a look at lab work and see where the problems are. So that's today's Methylation Minute. I'll try and get another one out each day before the conference. If you have any feedback or there's anything in particular you have questions to, note it in this post. All right. I'll look for another Methylation Minute tomorrow. All right. Take care.